Welcome to Tell Vanessa. I'm your host, Vanessa Cruickshank. So on today's show, we highlight an interesting topic and debate, an inspiring business story, and discuss your dilemmas. Then we finish with some good musical talent. So for the next 30 minutes, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Tell Vanessa. How often have we all wanted to change something with our appearances? We have record numbers of people opting for cosmetic surgery, wearing makeup, and even undergoing extreme body modifications to look like their pets. But when someone decides to change the color of their skin, we're all aghast. We view that individual as self-hating, confused, and even lost. So on tonight's show, we discuss the reasons behind why people bleach their skin and some of the medical effects it has on the body. Good evening to you both.
Good evening.
Let's start with you first, Sarah. You used to bleach your skin. Help me understand some of the reasons why.
So I started bleaching my skin around 13, 14, so I was pretty young. And I feel like when you are young and you're growing into the person you want to be, it's always nice to see people that look like you, even if it's celebrities, on makeup, cosmetic lines, and social media. And I feel like growing up, I didn't really see much people that looked like me. And like, I even feel like growing up as well, there was kind of like a viewpoint that the lighter you were, the prettier you were. That's still a viewpoint that's held very much in society now. Definitely. And my best friend was light-skinned, so we were literally complete opposites. And I'm Nigerian as well, so bleaching isn't relatively looked down upon in our culture. So I just figured I'll start bleaching my skin. And when you started bleaching, afterwards, how did you feel? I actually felt more confident, which is kind of sad to say. I was more confident, and surprisingly as well, boys started to approach me more, people started taking more pictures with me, so it was pretty interesting to see the response that I received from other people after bleaching. So do you think that maybe it was psychological, because you actually thought you looked better, your confidence built up, so people were naturally coming to you? Yeah, there is that kind of viewpoint that when you start to display yourself as being more confident, people will naturally draw to you. Yeah. And I feel like when I started to bleach my skin, I started to display that, and as a result, people started to draw to me naturally. So maybe it was psychological. Okay. So what made you stop bleaching then? I didn't have a choice. My mum was against it. I did try to hide it from her, but obviously she does know how my natural skin colour should be. And also, I actually couldn't go out without my skin feeling like it was burning. I couldn't use certain products. When it was summer, I used to literally slap on so much sunscreen and my skin would feel very sensitive. And even when you do put cream all over your body and all over your face, it is very unlikely you can distribute it evenly. So there will be times where maybe my forehead is darker than underneath my eyes, or my chin was darker than, you know, like my cheek, and it was just really uneven. So the second I stopped, within 2 weeks, my skin went back to normal. So Dr. Sheth, you've just heard Sarah talk about some of the effects afterwards with bleaching. Yes. Is this common?
This is very common. These are sorts of side effects that we see quite frequently with a lot of the bleaching products. And that's why you have to be very careful when you're using them. Some of the side effects that we've heard about: skin irritation, sun sensitivity, blotchiness. Those are some of the most common ones, but there are far more serious ones as well.
So tell me a bit about the serious ones, though.
So for serious ones, some have been linked, for example, hydroquinone. Excessive use has been linked theoretically with cancer. Mercury, which is found in a lot of skin lightening products that are sold under the counter, a lot of those can cause, in addition to the skin problems, they can cause problems with the nervous system. I think one of the things that a lot of people don't realise is actually the skin lightening products can have the opposite effect of what you're buying them for. So actually things like hydroquinone, they can actually cause darkening of the skin and premature aging of the skin. Darkening of the skin, so this is the exact opposite for what people actually want. Exactly. So what happens is, like a lot of things, everything's really nice in the beginning and it feels really good and everything starts lightening, so people just keep going and going. And then eventually, as with a lot of things, when you take it in excess, it becomes a problem. So Sarah, a lot of people would actually say that bleaching your skin is
very close to self-loathing, self-hate. What would you say to that?
I can't generalize everyone, but with some people that I know that bleach their skin, they have openly confessed to being insecure. And I feel like to an extent it can be like that, definitely.
So in terms of your case, did you feel insecure?
I did feel insecure. This is really interesting because I come from such a loving family, but I did feel really insecure, and I feel like my insecurity was for the wrong reasons. I was insecure that boys weren't approaching me, or I was insecure that maybe if everyone took a picture, I was the darkest in the corner and stuff like that.
But your skin is beautiful. You
Thank
are
you.
beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right? And I'd never want anyone to think that they're not because of the colour of their skin. Is this something that you hear from a lot of people who are bleaching their skin?
Absolutely. I get approached a lot about from people asking for their skin to be bleached, and I hear this story a lot. And I think in addition to some of the things we've heard, a lot of it is fueled by mass media. A lot of the images that we see that are produced by a lot of the advertising companies, they really are pushing that sort of image. And some research done that they published suggested that lighter skin is more attractive. And this got quite a lot of coverage probably about 7 or 8 years ago. And it was a shame, really, because it was sponsored by the advertisers who have got an agenda to promote. But actually, a lot of the evidence also suggests that it's not skin colour, but just things like complexion and evenness of tone. So, you know, dark skin colour can still be is certainly very attractive.
Okay.
But what people, I think, sometimes worry about is unevenness of tone, and then they try and lighten it to try and even it.
But I have seen people who've actually bleached their skin, and then you see their knuckles, and that's how you know they've bleached, because their knuckles are really dark, or they've bleached up to a certain point, and then you can see the darkness around their chest, for example.
Absolutely.
How can you even distribute stuff like that evenly? You can't.
That's the problem, you can't. So even if you're very careful and you do like scientific ways of doing it, so for example, you just apply a fixed amount on each part of skin. Skin's different on different parts of the body, so it will be absorbed differently, and it's just not possible to get a completely even tone.
Now, I remember reading an article about the difference between skin lightening and bleaching.
Yes.
Is there a difference?
A little bit, yeah. So lightening really is about reducing excess pigmentation, and bleaching is reducing pigmentation from what your normal skin tone is to a lighter shade. So that's one sort of distinction. There are a lot of legitimate prescribed skin lightening products, and they're really used for medical conditions where there is excess pigment or excess colour in certain parts of the skin.
So taking the melanin out of your skin by bleaching, when you're out in the sun, what can happen?
So if you were to take it completely out, then you're much more sensitive to the sun, you're more likely to burn, and more importantly, you're more likely to get skin cancers, because the melanin is what protects you from things like skin cancers.
So Sarah, now you've stopped bleaching, what's your routine now?
I stopped bleaching, I think like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, but I don't use anything, even like skin fade creams that are supposed to get rid of dark spots. I use none of that, just normal cocoa butter.
And how do you feel about yourself now?
I love my skin. I love myself. I kind of feel disappointed in myself that at such a young age I decided to take such a drastic step. But in me taking that drastic step, I've been able to speak to other girls who are thinking of doing stuff like that, and just kind of share my story with other people to let them know that it's okay to have insecurities, but when you do grow older, those insecurities won't matter anymore.
And what would you tell people then who are bleaching right now?
What would I tell them? I think I would personally say, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth lightening your skin just to try and, I would say, stick to the norms of beauty that society have basically presented, because beauty's in different colours, different shapes, different sizes. So
100%.
Love how you are, because you were created that way for a reason.
And you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow. Dr. Niz, what would you say to people that are looking to bleach their skin? Because from a medical point of view, how would you tell them to stop?
It's very difficult. Some people are really fixed on the idea about skin lightening being the way forward for them. And as we've heard, a lot of it really is a layer over the top of somebody who's got other issues in terms of psychological issues. And that's with all cosmetic problems, not just skin lightening.
Yeah.
So the things to sort of re-emphasize is all of those things that we've heard, that in addition to a lot of the side effects, beauty is not just about skin tone or skin colour. One of the things that I do emphasise, though, is what I mentioned earlier, that actually skin lightening products will have the opposite effect. And that seems to be one of the most useful tools that I have to put people off skin lightening.
Well, thank you so much for coming to share your medical knowledge, and thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Too many of us are always trying to change how we look, rather than celebrating our uniqueness. Why do we all need to look the same? Where's the fun in that? For me, there are deeper psychological reasons why a person decides to change the colour of their skin. And as hard as it may sound, some of it is to do with self-hate and low self-esteem. Sadly, we've all heard the tales of people who have bleached their skin and it have ended badly. But even with the known dangers, there's still that illusion that bleaching your skin will open up some kind of hidden benefit, hidden world, or even hidden treasures. But with this illusion, people will continue to have that desire to bleach their skin.
Tell Vanessa, just tell Vanessa now.
It's Deliberate sponsors Tell Vanessa. Deliberate sponsors Tell Vanessa.
Tell Vanessa, just tell Vanessa now.
This week, as part of our business highlight, we look at how two brothers have fused African and British culture together to create an Afro-Brit culinary delight known as Papa Spice. Hello, Farah.
Hi, Vanessa.
I know you come from a cooking background.
That's right.
Your dad was head chef for the president of Gambia for 25 years.
Yes, that's right.
And your brother Lawrence was also the chef at the Ivory restaurant.
That's right, for 9 years.
Which is good. So how did you come up with the idea then of Papa Spice to fuse African and British culture together?
Well, it really came from our dad, really. He used to go away at State House and with the president, and we would be eating British food. When he came back, he would cook up a massive feast. So we tried to fuse the two.
So you do marinade and sauces.
That's right, yeah.
How do you come up with the flavours?
We use fresh herbs. We try to make sure that we don't use dried ones, and that's what really gives it the flavour. Then we try and add a bit of a twist, which is incorporating things like mint and honey.
So honey gives it the sweet flavour then?
That's right, exactly. So we focus on the flavour rather than the heat.
So then how long do your products have in terms of a shelf life?
When we started in the kitchen, it was 4 weeks, and now we've partnered with a manufacturer, and we can get it up to 12 months.
Which is really good, actually.
That's right, yeah.
So tell me a little bit, though, about back at Tesco, because that's really big.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Tesco approached us. They're trying to promote young food startups. So we've now gone on their crowdfunding platform. We're trying to raise £5,000. So far, we've raised £4,700. And we're hoping to raise the rest and get stocked in Tesco.
So does that mean you'll be in all the Tesco's?
That's our ambition, that we would like to. So once we reach the target, we can then start having those discussions, yeah.
So on your website, you talk about recipes. Do you have any aspirations to actually open a restaurant?
We do, actually. So Lawrence, who's the chef, and being biased, I would say he's a great chef. He wants to open up his own restaurant. We've been doing pop-up restaurants, and we've had up to 600 people at a time at these. So
that's a really big number.
Yeah.
So where are the pop-up restaurants? Where do you have them?
We started off in Angel, so Essex Road, really popular area, and we've done a few around Shoreditch and West London. So yeah, we're hoping to keep extending that.
Have you got any pop-up restaurants coming up soon?
Not in the pipeline at the moment. Lawrence is doing his own catering business and is pushing that. Right now we're focusing on the sauces and trying to get those stocked in retail stores.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with Back at Tesco.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming in to talk to me.
I appreciate it, Vanessa. Thank you.
This is the part of the show where you tell me your dilemmas, I tell you what I think, and then we take it to the streets. Our dilemma this evening is from a lady called Emma. I'm embarrassed and ashamed to say what I have done, but I found out by accident that my husband of 15 years was planning to leave me for another woman. So on the night he planned to tell me he was leaving, I was on the sofa crying. He asked me what was wrong, and I basically told him I had cancer. Once the lie was out of my mouth, I couldn't stop it. I was crying, he was crying. He told me that he loved me and we would work this out together. I also heard on the grapevine that he broke up with this other woman. The thing is, I'm struggling to keep up with the lie. But if I tell the truth now, he's going to hate me. I'm racked with guilt every day and I don't know what to do.
Tell Vanessa, just tell Vanessa now.
Yes, you do know what to do. Tell the truth. You told an absolute awful lie, and if I had a wall of shame, you would be on it. You can't tell lies to keep a man. Eventually, he will leave you. You have to own up, and if he hates you, so be it. You brought it on yourself. There are actually people who are ill with cancer, and this is no joke for them. My advice to you is to get some counselling, because anyone that would make up a lie like that needs some help. But like I say each week, this is just my advice. Let's hear what they say on the streets.
Alright, so basically, like, initially I thought that you could do better than this guy, but seeing how you've decided to go lie to him, he can clearly do better than you.
Emma, what you've done is probably in your heart unforgivable.
Look into his eyes and tell him the pain I felt was like having cancer, but I don't actually have cancer.
Just telling the truth as soon as possible.
Your ass needs a bit of a whooping.
You can't make somebody love you. If it's over, it's over.
If you was here, there's a balcony here, I'll be kicking you off that balcony.
You have to come clean with him. Tell him you're sorry. Tell him you panicked.
Sit him down, tell him the truth, and move on.
Well, Emma, I hope you take our advice, because like I say each week, a problem shared is a problem halved. So if you have a dilemma, email us here at dilemma@tellvanessa.com. So we've come to the end of another great show. I would like to thank all our guests and thank you for sending in your dilemmas. If you want to comment on tonight's show, get in touch with us. The information's on the bottom of the screen. Now I'm going to leave you with the unique sounds of Rebecca Scales.
I wake up so early, but you're not there. So now whatever happens, do I really care? The love I feel, this pain, it hurts inside. It's driving me out of my mind. I could die. The days seem long and now you're not here. My world feels full of fear. Don't want this to be real. It's hard to heal. Ooh, wonder if I'll ever heal. How did you let me treat you so bad when I said you're all I ever had? How did you let me treat you so bad when I said I love you, baby? How did you let me treat you so bad? My love for you is still strong. How did you let me treat you so bad? How will I live now you are gone? The room gets darker, lost track of time. The Here